One of the beauties that we have in Excy now being this wider base solution is opening up this position, which I like to refer to as functional training. I know it's a kind of a buzzword, but to me, getting in this position really equates to picking up the laundry, right? Mowing, just all kinds of things where we're really engaging the core. And so I have the pin in the top hole here, you know, to minimize how much I am bending down. Right. But if we can get into proper setup here, I have to do a proper squat. You know, I'm coming down and I'm using my arms, you know, while in a squatted position. So it's not something I can do for long periods of time. But the importance of my back, you know, and how I'm positioned in order to do this right and not hurt yourself.
Yeah, one of the critical things is trunk position, or the ability to, one, find trunk position, and two, hold that trunk position in spite of this complex loading of the upper extremity. So the other thing is also leg strength. When you have your legs and hips in this position, it clearly makes you work. So if your legs were fully extended, you wouldn't have to work as much. So you are getting stimulus of glutes, quads, hams in this position. The hams and glutes are helping, you know, your trunk, when you put it out in this position here, is a lever that's hanging off of the legs, if you will. So that requires the hamstrings and glutes to be really engaged to help stabilize that position. So it's really a nice exercise.
What I love about this position too is I know with every crank, I am deeply engaging my core. And
otherwise you fall over.
Yeah. You know, so it really gets into that kind of core training where you're not doing crunches and you're not doing, you know, normal things, but seriously engaging the core.
It's what you'd be doing if you're out working on the farm.
One of the things that I love to do is more in that kind of category of an isometric exercise, no resistance, okay, same position, and really, I mean, I have light resistance here, but using to train slowly.
Yeah, that's oftentimes far more difficult or complex than to try to do one's kind of comfortable set speed. And that's when you do talk about aerobic training or strength training, to move more slowly through it, well, particularly with strength training, to move more slowly through that range of motion is really quite difficult. And so for you to try to slow this down through this weight-bearing situation and to control it requires a lot of strength, a lot of control, a lot of fine.
Shake, like, you know.
You're not just frightened.
Not frightened, right? It's, I mean,
or nervous.
It's such a great, there's so many ways to use Excy in that way. With no weight. I mean, this is so easy. But
to control that, it's really complex, and it's really requires all the muscles around the shoulder and trunk to help support that.